Thank you. Hello, everyone. We are Decoda. So excited to be here today. Today, we are going to explore 3 different pieces written by 3 different people. All of these pieces are inspired by musical roots.
Whoa, Shelley. What's musical roots?
Great question. Musical roots, everyone has them. Musical roots grow from the music that's important in our lives. It can be the music that we hear from our family, from our culture, or from a place. Musical roots is a part of our story. It helps make us who we are.
All right. I think I'm starting to get what you mean by musical roots. But maybe we can all introduce ourselves individually and each of us share something about some of our personal musical roots. Catherine, want to start?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Catherine, and I play the flute. When I think of my musical roots, I think of this song called Belfast Hornpipe that my mother used to play for me on the record player.
Wonderful. Hello, everyone. I am Shelley. I play the bassoon. And part of my musical roots come from actually when I was in the car a lot with my parents. My dad especially loved to play classical music, and he loved to play opera. So although I have no idea what they were singing about, I loved how beautiful the music could be. Today, I still love opera, and I love to sing through my bassoon.
My name is Moran, and I play the clarinet. My grandparents spoke this old language, Yiddish, and they used to sing a song to my father in Yiddish, and then my dad sang the song to me, so I ended up hearing it a lot. It's called My Yiddische Mama, and it's about missing your mother.
Morning, everybody. My name is Stuart, and I play the oboe. You know, not all musical roots come from our family. A lot of them do, but one of the musical roots that is important to me actually comes from the movies. And the movies are, you know, they're a pop culture phenomenon. They're really cool. I always like to go to movies, but when I was young and I would go to movies, what I would come away thinking about was how much I wanted to hear more of the music that the movies had in them. And so one of the first CDs I ever bought was a recording from a soundtrack from a movie that I think you might recognize.
I love hearing Star Wars on the oboe, Stuart.
It's really grand on the oboe.
It's very grand.
Yes.
My name is Nicolene. Who knows what this is? Does anybody know? Shout it out if you know it. Oh, I love it. Yes, this is the French horn. And when I was growing up, I actually used to hear a lot of really, really, really old music from the Catholic Church, which is a culture that's super rich in centuries of music. And even though I'm not a singer, I used to love listening to these songs for choirs from like 500 years ago. And I still like to play them on horn.
So we've each shared a little bit about our musical roots. For some of us, they came from our family. For some of us, they came from our culture. Musical roots can also come from a place, you know. And I'm interested in hearing a little bit about your musical roots. So I want everyone to put on your thinking caps for a second and think about what is some music that you particularly find yourself drawn to. Maybe it's something from your family or something from your friends, your community, culture. Think about that for a second. And then I want you to share that with somebody next to you. That's
So interesting that I borrow from others' cultures because I like it.
All right, let's all come back in 3, 2, 1. Cool. So raise your hand if your partner had a really cool story to share with you. Yeah. Oh, some of you had some really great partners. So what I'm interested in now is somebody happy to share what one of the songs that's important to their musical roots is. Yeah. Oop, the microphone's coming in.
Hold on.
One more time.
My partner said the Spider-Man music.
Oh, Spider-Man music. That's really cool. Yeah, what about over here?
One of my songs I like is the Among Us song because when the quarantine started, Among Us kept me from just going under my blanket and just waiting like 5,000 years for the pandemic to be over.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's really significant. Wow. I mean, these are some really important formative things for us. And, you know, these musical roots can stay with us for our whole lives, and they're really interesting like that. So we're now going to dive into the musical roots of 3 composers. And composers are people that write music, and these people all were inspired by their musical roots in order to transform that into music. They take their musical roots from their family, from their culture, and from their location, and they write beautiful pieces of music with incredible melody, dance, and rhythm.
That's right, Stuart. So for many, many people, and I bet everyone in this room, all right, we get a lot of our musical roots from our family. And a lot of times, it might be songs that are passed down to us. And this is true for the very first piece that all 5 of us played, the Chinese-American composer, Wang Ro. And so when he was growing up, his father would sing a lot of different songs to him. And this is how he learnt these songs. One of these songs is called The Girl from Daban City.
All right, so I would love for us to learn the beginning of this song together, just the first little chunk. I'm gonna sing first, and can you copy back on the syllable da? Okay, my turn. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Great singers, I love it. Let's put those 2 parts together. So everyone at the same time. 1, 2, ready, go. Da, 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 da. job. So this song can be passed, like in Juan Ro's case, from parent to child. We can also pass a song from instrument to instrument. And the song we're talking about we call melody. Melody is the main tune that you sing. I actually have a helper. Moise, would you like to come up and help us with this part? Great. So we are going to experiment a little bit, passing the melody from instrument to instrument. Thank you. Oh, great. Can I demonstrate as an example? And then it'll be all your turn. Awesome. So can you follow the melody from instrument to instrument? Great. Make sense? All right, so for our audience, can you follow the melody as it passes from instrument to instrument as Moise moves the scarf? Great.
Thank you so much.
Great job, Moise. Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to play the full version of The Girl from Daban City. And we put away the scarf, so we're not going to be able to follow it with our eyes, but I want you to use your ears to follow how the melody moves around the group. everybody. So, raise your hand if you heard how the melody moved around the group. Yeah. Did anybody hear anything really interesting, like something cool about the way the melody moved around? Yeah, you in the blue hoodie.
It kind of reminded me of the Mulan movie.
It reminded you of the Mulan movie?
Yeah.
Similar roots in a way, yeah. Yeah, you right next to it.
So what I noticed is that even though like sometimes people were like shifting between melodies, like different people were playing the melody, none of them, like not many times do people stop playing because others are just playing one note to go like as the background while someone else plays the actual melody.
Yeah, so you're right. So there weren't a lot of times when a person would stop playing. When we weren't playing the melody, we would do something else. We would play some background music. It's definitely true. So the different roles moved around. How about you right here in the front?
I noticed while the melody moved around, some notes were higher and some notes were lower because the different instruments played different sounds. But it sounded the same because the melody was the same, but it was like different volumes.
Right. So you could tell that the melody was the same melody, but some of the instruments, like the flute, for example, was playing up really high, and the bassoon, when the bassoon played the melody, it was quite a bit lower. Now that's great. So far, this is really, really exciting. We've all sort of tuned into the way that this melody from a composer's musical roots was passed through his family and was then passed through the group like this. Now we're going to switch gears and look at another way that we can use musical roots.
The next composer is going to be Bela Bartok. He grew up in Eastern Europe on the border between Hungary and Romania. I actually have some musical roots there myself. And he was very much influenced by the traditional music from there. And it makes up a really important part of his musical roots.
That's right. Bartok would often love to go to the countryside to find and record music that he heard in villages. So let's play one short piece by Bartok so we can get a taste of his music and to get to know his musical roots. So as we play, I invite you to use your imagination. You can close your eyes if you'd like. And my question for you is, what might people do as they listen to this music?
Took you while you were listening. So, what do you think people might have been doing while they listened to this music? Loving these hands. Can I hear from the person in the striped shirt on the end here? What do you think people might have been doing?
They might be running away from someone.
Running away. Yeah, it was moving super fast. Any other ideas of stuff people might have been doing? In the pink shirt up front. Thank you for waiting for the mics, folks. This is great.
I can imagine people dancing to the music.
Dancing. Oh, yeah. What about in the gray flower shirt? One more idea. Yes.
I think there were women working and dancing while they were working.
Oh, I love this. Women working and dancing while they work. So I'm getting this dance vibe going on, which I love. Because I am also personally, when I listen to this music, like, yeah, it's like, yeah. Okay, all right. Here's, I love the dance. Everyone must see this. Thank you.
So, I'm glad you all tuned into this different kinds of motion because you know what? Dance is a really great way to get into music. And it's especially great for this piece because this piece is actually one of a set of Romanian folk dances that Bartók wrote. He was inspired, as we talked, about his travels around the countryside, absorbing the musical roots of the culture of Hungary and Romania. And his musical roots express themselves through this piece. Now, in order to get into this vibe a little bit, I want us to do a little bit of dancing, but we're all sitting, so we're not going to get to prance around the way that Nicoli did. But we can still use the top of our body. So we can use our arms, we can use our hands, and we can use our faces. So, one way we could do that is, of course, what you all see when you're in orchestra and band. Your conductor gets in front of you, and they move their arms and their hands and their faces, and they can tell you what the feeling of the music is. Let's all try that together, everybody. Hands in front of you, and I'm going to count us in, and just let's conduct together a little bit. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, down, up, down, up, down, up. Great. And a conductor's job is not just to keep time. Their job is also to show you the character and the emotion and the mood of the music. And so, what if this was a dance that was slow? What if that dance was like lazy? Or really pompous? Or like a mouse skittering in fast? Yeah, we can do all these different kinds of things. And the important thing, and the reason their conductor can do different things is because they're working with you to make the music. They want to keep time, and they also want to show you the character with their emotions. It's a lot like dancing, but using our upper bodies, which is what we have available to us right now. So let's try a little bit. We're going to have these folks play a piece of music. This is also from these Bartók folk dances, just a little bit. And we're going to see if we can catch what that character is and do our dancing along with that. You all ready? Nice. I saw a lot of decisive motions because this music is pretty stately. Now we're going to do a totally different one. And I'm actually not going to show it this time. So I'm interested to see what you all come up with listening to this tune. It's a tune you may have recently heard. I saw a lot of, sort of furtive movements, like we're sneaking around a little bit. They're going to do now the next little part of that piece. We're going to do it one more time, and this time I want you guys to think about freestyling. Now, we're still using our upper bodies, but we don't have to look like conductors anymore. This is 6 again.
So you. Oh, you want a different part of the music?
No,
the same thing?
Yeah,
same thing.
So same thing, but you don't have to stick with the conducting patterns. Let's try that, eh? Yeah, I saw some prancing hands in the back. That's kind of fun. Kind of almost like we're riding a horse or something like that. So now we're going to be playing this piece, a few more movements of these Romanian folk dances by Béla Bartók, and they all have a different character. And so while you're listening, think about how he might have been inspired by these dance musics from his culture. And if you're inspired to dance, we'd love to see how that goes. now we're going to do a little bit of a different one.
I could start to see some of you, like almost like you wanted to break out and dance a little bit, especially in the faster one. Okay, I could see some movement happening. So you can see that dance can also be, or movement can be a part of your musical roots. So far we've seen how melody, all right, having something passed down from your family, that can be a musical root. We've seen how the music of Bartók, all right, he's influenced by the culture, the land in which he is from, okay, and dance can be a musical root. It's time to explore something a little closer to home.
That's right. So even if you're like me and you weren't born here, everyone in this room is a New Yorker, right? So I want to collaborate here and make a piece that celebrates our shared musical roots here in New York City. So to start with, and Moran, if you can write stuff down for us, that would be great. I want some ideas of if you're out and about in the city, out in the streets, what are some things that you see in New York City that are like special to this place? Special to this place. Let's see, in the happy shirt, what do we got? Yes.
Right here in front,
Yeah, let's do the mics.
I usually see people like dancing when I go out to New York City, or like I hear a lot of music.
You hear a lot of music and a lot of dancing. Yeah, there's so much music that's special to this city and you just go outside and see it. I love that. Let's see, in the original t-shirt, and the black t-shirt on the end here, what are some things that you see out here that are unique to New York?
Usually a lot of transportation outside.
Lots of transportation, right? There's a bunch of cars, there's subways, there's people on bicycles, all kinds of things. In the like dark blue hoodie.
I always see people rapping outside.
People rapping. So yeah, it's this idea of like everyone's always making music outside. I totally love it. So many good ideas. Can we do it in the red sleeves? How about?
So for some reason, what makes me think of New York is like when you're in the subway. For some reason, for me, it's not really a good thing. It's like there's so much dirt and there's throw up, and then someone peed in the elevator, and then there's a rat grabbing a pizza.
Rats. Yes, I was really hoping someone would say rats. Okay, what do we have? So we've got dancing, music, we've got lots of transportation, rapping, subway rats. Let's get one more in the white sweatshirt all the way in the back. These are definitely New York things.
We see lots of pets with their owners.
Can you say that louder for me?
We see lots of pets with their owners.
Lots of pets with their owners, so there's other animals besides just rats in the city. We love it. Okay, these are great details. Thank you so much for all of them. So the next step here is I want to take these details and I want to figure out, some of them it's a little bit more obvious how we might make some music out of them.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
When I think of Manhattan especially, I think of really, really high buildings.
Skyscrapers.
You with me? Okay.
Thumbs up on the skyscrapers. Great. We have a yes vote on the skyscrapers. All right. So we've got some great details in here. I'm going to combine a couple of things. So I'm going to combine the dancing and music and the rapping. I wonder, Catherine, if you can give us some like little flute ditty that might be kind of like some of these outdoor music, like songs or dancing or rap that you might encounter outside. Just a little.
Something like.
Oh my goodness. All right. You're hired. This is amazing. Okay. Oh, Stuart. Can we combine the subway rats and the pets? Is there something you could, are there like sort of like animal sounds you can make on the oboe?
Yeah. How about like?
Ooh. All right. It's like a rat is having a very important telephone conversation. All right, so, and then, you know what? So there's lots of transportation. And Shelley, I think the thing that we need first in this piece is we need some kind of like rhythmic foundation. So is there some kind of rhythm that reminds you of like the subway? Oh, I love that. Okay, so let's keep doing that. And then we're going to bring in our like dancing, rapping situation. Oh, okay. Now let's bring on the animals. All right, that's really awesome. Okay, so we've got like a couple little bass line, like repeated things. We've got this really cool rhythm going on, but I want a melody to go on top of everything. So I love this skyscrapers detail. So if we were to make a melody that sounded sort of like skyscrapers, what might that melody sound like? Would it be high? Would it be low? Would it be like really fast? Would it be really slow? Oh man, so many ideas here. In the fuzzy shirt up front, this fuzzy gray shirt, I'm totally digging that. What might our skyscraper melody sound like?
Maybe like high, and then after you can add it like very upbeat.
High and very upbeat. All right. Maybe like one more detail in the red sweatshirt over here. And then I think we've got our skyscraper melody idea.
Maybe you could make it from go from low and then all of a sudden it's high.
Oh, go from low all the way up to really high. All right, I love this. So we've got so we can see sort of like how tall the skyscrapers are. All right. Miran, do you think you can make a skyscraper melody on top of everything? Do you want to demo it first, or let's make it a secret and see what it sounds like? Okay, let's do it. So let's build up all our layers here. So let's get our subway rhythm.
Do you think we could challenge these guys to join in on this rhythm?
Let's show us the rhythm one more time, and let's get everybody.
If you understand, join in.
Oh yeah, that's the train. Keep it up.
Keep that going.
And then let's bring in our dance and rap. Awesome. Where are the rats at? Time for skyscrapers. for these great ideas. And we're going to pivot towards someone else who's using place in the musical roots of place.
That was amazing how much we could all create this shared experience of New York City. So our next composer, Valerie Coleman, she also shares this sense of place through her music, but a different part of the country. In fact, she expresses her musical roots of the Mississippi Delta, where her mother is from. And I want you to imagine this scene, okay? So this place lies on the red clay banks of the Mississippi River in the south. Imagine it in the summer. It's hot, it's humid, and the river might be buzzing with boats and with people. Let's see if we can build up Valerie Coleman's music gradually by adding the instruments. But first we're going to start with a beat, a rhythm, much like what we did in our New York piece, okay? But this is something that Valerie had. So it goes something like this. You can join in with me. Right, so this is the foundation of the Mississippi Delta. All right, we're going to add some more melodies on top.
Very rich cultural and musical roots like jazz and blues. And in jazz and blues, a lot of times the musicians get to take incredibly wild solos where they just get to express themselves to the fullest. Something like this.
Are happening, the rest of us are playing the same rhythms together like a band.
So let's put all of these pieces together. We're now going to play Valerie Coleman's Red Clay and Mississippi Delta, where she channels her musical roots from the Mississippi Delta. And you're going to hear some of these wild solos like Maran just played. You're going to hear the band playing together like we just did. And you're also going to hear that soundscape built on top of the red clay rhythm. Yes. So, while you're listening, think about what in this music is the most exciting for you. So, in the middle of the piece, you can join in when we get to the red clay, but at the beginning, it's going to be a little bit different. Let's see how it goes.
start on H.
Remember to bring your lunch. There will
We'll
be
start at H.
cookies as well. Thank you.
All right, so we had just listened to Valerie Coleman's piece inspired by her musical roots in the Mississippi Delta. So we asked you, what was the most exciting part for you? Who has an idea they'd like to share? Do you have an idea?
In the middle, when everyone started the beat, it started to get more exciting.
So in the middle, when everyone was playing the beat together, talking about that red clay rhythm, that's when it started getting exciting for you. Great. Any other ideas? Yes. And the gray shirt? Yeah.
I mostly think at the end, like, it was kind of like a superhero intro / ending.
You said
Superhero ending.
there
You
was a
say
superhero ending?
Yeah, at the end, like I felt like kind of a superhero intro / ending.
Oh, intro at the beginning and at the end? You felt like a superhero music? Awesome, very cool.
More at the end.
More
not
at the
really
end.
At the beginning.
I see what you mean. Like off into wherever they're going. All right, another idea. What was the most interesting part for you?
It sounded like jazz when we started to do the clapping and stomping.
It sounded like jazz to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valerie Coleman actually jazz, she takes that part of music and adds it, make it her own style. Excellent job, guys. Thank you so much. You have one final idea. I didn't hear you. Speak up, please.
I think that near the end, I thought that there was a thief breaking in, and then at the end there was a superhero intro.
Oh, so at the very end, there was a thief breaking in, maybe at the slow part, and then the superhero came in for you?
Yeah, like near the end, like when you guys were going slow.
Oh, awesome. I love it. So you're putting a story with the music you're hearing. Excellent. Thank you, guys.
Well, thanks for spending so much time with us today. We've talked a lot about musical roots, and we've explored how these three composers use their musical roots as inspiration in their musical writing. Huang Ro uses a melody that he learned from his family. Bela Bartok uses dance music that he heard from his culture. And Valerie Coleman uses the rhythms and atmospheres of a specific place.
And even if you didn't play a musical instrument, which I know everybody here kind of does, even if you didn't play a musical instrument, even if you don't write your own music, you still have musical roots that are special to you and that show you like what's cool about where you are and who you're with.
So it could be really interesting to continue thinking about what your own musical roots could be, and maybe that could inspire other creative work. It could be writing a poem or a play or even writing a song or a piece of music.
Thank you so much for being here today, for your participation and your ideas and your great listening. Now we have arrived to the Q&A section. So any questions that popped? Yes.
One question about the bassoon. How much did it cost?
How much does a bassoon cost?
No, like
This bassoon.
I know it already costs probably a lot.
I always say I could afford a car with the price of a bassoon.
Other questions?
Yes.
Oh, you know, a lot of people do confuse the oboe and the clarinet.
About the same size.
Yeah, so do you want to see what we always show people when we want to explain the difference? I have a single reed. This is me playing my single reed by itself. Doesn't do anything.
No, not so much. But you see, the oboe is a double reed, meaning it's two pieces. It's its own entire mouthpiece. On its own, it sounds. It's an instrument on its own.
But both of them do have similar colors, right? Kind of a dark wood and then silver keys. That makes them look alike. But they sound very different. Yes? You don't want us to swap instruments.
No,
It will
not.
not sound good.
Yeah, well, you know, they're both woodwinds, right? And a lot of you play woodwinds. And, you know, the flute originally looked very similar too. It was also made out of wood. It's just that it became the fashion and the style to make flutes out of metal. And the bassoon is also a woodwind. It's just a different kind of wood, so it doesn't look dark. The French horn, I don't know what you're doing here.
Well, the French horn is technically a brass instrument, right? It's in the same family as trumpets and trombones. But it has such a mellow sound that we actually blend really well with woodwind instruments. So I like to kind of hang out with these guys and pretend that I'm a
Nicolene
secret
is
woodwind.
very nice, so we agreed. She can be a part of our quintet.
Question in the back in the white sweatshirt. Oh, that's such a good question. Why do we make eye contact before we start?
I mean, we can try and start where we are not looking at each other. You
Yeah,
wanna see what happens?
it's much harder. Want to try playing the Coleman?
Oh, really?
Now, imagine you're going to talk to your friend and you say, all right, on the count of 3, we're going to say friends. And you go 1, 2, 3. Friends. Now imagine that you say, on the count of 3, we're going to not look at each other and we're not going to actually count to 3 and we're going to say friends.
Friends.
We actually kind of got it, but it was kind of sloppy, right? It was like friends.
But like Stuart,
So,
if you and I just look at each other, you don't even have to count.
friends. It's because we breathe together also.
So it's about communicating, right? Communicating when to begin, also when to finish. Yes.
Yes. How long did it take you to learn how to play the flute?
How long did it take me to learn how to play the flute? It's a great question. Lots of practice, okay? And trying my best and more practice and more practice. I think I started the flute when I was about your age. Yeah? And you know, you start, it's like learning any new skill, right? How many of you play sport? Yeah, great. Imagine the first day you played basketball, right? Were you a pro that day? No, right? So any new skill takes time and you just try a little bit each day, so many years. Yes. Yes.
Oh, can I answer?
Go.
All right, I actually realized this morning something cool. I've been here before many years ago. Last time I was here was 10 years ago. I didn't realize until I was walking in the building. So we're part of a program called Ensemble Connect that there's a fellow here now that comes and visits the school. And so I was one of the fellows in this program 10 years ago.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for your great questions, for your really amazing engagement with us, and your incredible listening skills. So give yourselves a pat on the back, because this was a really special audience for us.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much.